What's up, traders? I'm going to tell you 3 traits that I found most successful traders, if not all successful traders, at least follow 2 or 3 of these traits. And this isn't going to be something that's like, they're hardworking or they're dedicated or something stupid like that you can't actually take anything from. I'm actually going to go into something a little bit more useful, and how you can probably apply some of these things to your life too, hopefully, and then you can give a little bit more of an edge in the markets. So you know who it is. I'm the guy that gives you not that old, same old crap that you see everywhere else on YouTube. I'm the guy that actually gives you something practical. This is Hunter with Hunter FX, or I am Hunter with Hunter FX, and you're going to learn something useful today. So before we get started, I just want to make sure you guys know about the Discord in the description. There's a link there for you. You can join, and some of the members, they had a really good idea that we're going to start doing a weekly group call and just go over some of the trades some guys might be struggling with, and maybe we can help each other out in that way. So if you want to be a part of that group call, that's going to be once a week, and we're just going to chat and see how things go. It's absolutely blowing up. It's awesome. A lot of really good guys in there. I think you're going to love it. So the first thing that's going to be probably the biggest, the most killer thing, and you got to watch this part of the video, and you can click away later. Don't click away. Actually leave the video running until the end, even if you do want to click away, just because then I get more watch time. YouTube likes me more, my videos get favored, and I'm just running along the clock right now by droning on just so I can get more watch time. But yes, so the most important thing that successful traders do is they have some means to control their dopamine. What do I mean by this? Well, first of all, we have to realize what the hell is trading. Trading is gambling, right? So a degenerate gambler is going to come in here and they're going to have no control over their dopamine, and they're coming in here just to gamble to get that dopamine fix. So a successful trader, they've gone over this. Maybe they started out trying to get that dopamine fix, and now they've realized that they can't just keep chasing the dragon, so to speak. And so now they have different means in their regular life in order to control their dopamine throughout their everyday life. And one thing you're going to realize is if you start cutting out different dopamine fixes in different aspects of your life, you're going to notice that also carries over to trading. So how does that dopamine control actually affect and improve your trading performance? Well, it's like this. If you have no control over your dopamine in your regular life, like you can't control yourself from going down to the fridge at 2 a.m. and getting a chocolate bar before going back to bed, most likely you're going to have just an equal as difficult time going up to your trades and not taking that revenge trade, because you're not going to have that self-control, because you're going to need that same fix. It's a very similar feeling in order to getting that chocolate bar, resisting it as the same as resisting a trade that you shouldn't be entering. It's really like a feedback loop where you do one thing well in your life, it's going to spur on other things. It's kind of like if you ever started like a new fitness routine or something like that, you might have noticed you have a little bit more energy to do other things in life. Just because you're being more active in one thing, you're going to be a little bit more active elsewhere. You're going to clean around the house a little bit more. You're just going to be more productive in general. So it's a very similar logic to that, where you cut out these negative dopamine fixes. You're also going to cut out the negative dopamine fixes for trading. So what are these major fixes that you need to cut out? Well, one, a lot of you guys, you like to sit in front of a computer, right? So I can say right now you like to play video games. So if you do like to play video games, number one thing, you want to cut those out, or at least reduce those to a type of video game where you can go in to it and then the game is over and then you can stop. Not something like World of Warcraft where they got all these achievements and you just keep playing. It's very, very addictive. Do something where you play one match, some sort of shooter game or something like that, and then you can be completely done, and then you've got your dopamine and you can cut it out from there. The next obvious one that absolutely everybody struggles with, especially right now that we're in quarantine, is the fact that everyone's going to their fridge and they just keep eating these different things, these snacks, and that's going to be a huge dopamine fix. So if you can actually cut out your snacks completely, that's going to be really beneficial for your mind in different means too, also not just for health purposes but also for that dopamine problem. Another thing you can do if you want to go into an extreme mode is you can go into more fasting, and then you actually have no food going into your body and you can completely focus on the markets at hand. So the last one I just quickly thought of, and I'm sure there's tons more, but I think these are the three major ones that you guys probably interested in, is drugs and alcohol. And personally, I very rarely drink, just because actually not just for that dopamine fix, but I do notice if I do go out drinking, my mind is subpar for at least a week. So I actually, the next entire week, I do much worse. And if you guys want to try something out like that too, just don't go out drinking on a weekend, and you'll notice that the next week you're much more clear and focused going into the trading sessions. So the next thing I noticed is that every trader is healthy in three ways. They're healthy in their mind, their body, and their nutrition, and it's quite simple. I don't really need to go into much explanation of these, but basically every single trader I know does some sort of exercise. They're not just sitting on their couch the whole time. They're getting out, they're going for walks. The walks might actually help their mind too, allow them to think about things. They're going to the gym, things like that. They're eating properly. I have a bit more strict diet than most people. I do something that's a little bit close to a paleo diet, where I just basically do very low carb, because I notice that carbs make me stupid. They make you lethargic, they make you lazy, they make you fall asleep. So if you do eat carbs, eat them late in the day, and eat very few carbs, because you're going to be able to focus and your mind is going to be much more clear. If you've ever gotten brain fog and stuff like this is from poor diet. You're not actually eating properly, and I noticed the carbs actually affect me very much heavily in that way. As for a mind side of things, a lot of traders, they do meditation. I practice a little bit of meditation. I'm not very good at it, which is more a reason to do it. Listen to positive affirmations, reading books, things like this. I'm sure you get the picture. I don't need to explain how you can be. And the third and final and maybe most important, probably not the most important, the first one was actually the most important. This one is rather important in the sense of just the way that traders think, not really their traits as much or things that they're doing. This is just that traders are very analytical people. We're not very creative people. We could be creative in some sense in that we come up with new ideas, but each and every trader I know that's very successful, they're analytical to the point where they're studying the charts over and over. They're coming up with these new ideas. They're thinking about, they got the light bulb in their head, and they always have a new idea of what could work, right? And then they don't just have that idea and then throw it and apply it. They go and they test it and they make sure that idea actually works and it's not just a stupid idea, because our minds are very stupid. Prove my point of how stupid our minds are, just for the next, if you really want to do this exercise, for the next few hours, every single thought you have, write it down and then read it over afterwards. Your thoughts are going to make absolutely no sense, and there's a ton of stuff jumping into your mind, and in order to actually make sure that some of these thoughts are useful, we actually have to test things out instead of just assuming everything we think is right, because majority of the time the things you think is wrong. And I would argue that if the majority of the population thinks something is true, it's probably more likely to be wrong. So that's it for me, guys. That's everything for today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can hear more awesome knowledge that you're not going to hear anywhere else. I like to think a little bit outside of the box. I am the greatest of all time trader you will ever find on YouTube, and that's not just I'm trying to think of something funny. I don't have anything funny. That's a good ending. See you guys next time. I must have eaten too many carbs for breakfast.